San Andreas is an old enough game with a huge fan base, and you'd think most people would know all there is to know about the game at this stage. But there's one thing I bet most players, even those who play the game to this day, still don't know. While researching for my San Andreas modding guide last year, I noticed that there was a flag for cold zones that would add extra air resistance to a zone. The description for this flag was that it doesn't allow cars to reach top speed. I noted this down and plan to make a future video on it at some point, as I thought it was interesting. Since then, a former technical director at Rockstar, Obbe, has begun tweeting and sharing development insights into the work Rockstar did on GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas and GTA 4. And he actually shared that this feature was to slow down players in some areas to stop streaming issues from occurring, as players could get too fast in these locations, and the PS2 hardware couldn't keep up. Now, I won't lie, originally I thought it was some sort of immersive feature added by Rockstar, but using it as an optimization feature makes a lot more sense. San Andreas came out in 2004, a time when games almost exclusively came out on DVDs. The game really pushed the limits of the PS2, and the map was packed full of objects, even more so compared to GTA 3 and Vice City. Unfortunately, moving through the game world too fast could potentially cause issues with streaming, as the PS2 would struggle to read data from the DVD in time as objects were loading in and out around the player extremely fast. So what was Rockstar's solution for this? Just slow the player down, and they did this by adding these extra air resistance zones around the map. Let's take a look at a quick comparison. While driving in a zone without extra air resistance, the Cheetah can reach a top speed of 197 km per hour. But if you drive in an area with extra air resistance, the Cheetah can only reach a top speed of 161 km per hour. The zone with extra air resistance ends just here, and as soon as we're out of the zone, we can reach our top speed of 197 km per hour. If you're wondering why the airport doesn't need an extra air resistance zone compared to other stretches of long areas, it's because the airport hasn't actually got many objects to stream in, so the hardware in 2004 could keep up no matter how fast you went in a vehicle. I decided to test this with Nitro too, and it turns out Nitro actually counters the air resistance zones. So even if you're in one of these zones, Nitro will allow you to reach the max speed of your vehicle. Once your Nitro runs out, you'll start to drop back to the top speed limit of the zone. Nitro doesn't increase the top speed of a vehicle, it just increases the vehicle's acceleration. But you're also probably wondering, what about aircraft? Surely the planes in San Andreas can travel much faster than cars when in the air. How is the hardware keeping up there? In San Andreas, flying any aircraft will actually trigger the game to significantly reduce the draw distance of non-LOD objects once you start to fly. This means the game won't load the high quality version of models until you're extremely close when flying. LOD models are significantly less detailed than their high quality counterparts, and even the PS2 could mostly handle loading these with the player moving fast. On modern hardware, this isn't really necessary, and we actually have mods to disable this optimization feature, so we can see San Andreas in higher quality while flying. Unfortunately, I couldn't easily find any maps made by the community which documented these zones, so I went ahead and made one myself, copying all of the coordinates directly from the cull.ipl file. These markers mark the center of each zone. The zones are basically invisible boxes, so they extend outward from the center. Typically, they try to cover the entire stretch of road they're on. In total, there are 29 zones which have this air resistance feature, although one of these seem to be a duplicate and some of them are just zones connected to each other. Most of these zones are in the cities, as these areas are generally more performance heavy and would require slowing the player down on long stretches of road. I'll leave a link to this map in the description. As well as making the map, I've also made a small mod which removes these zones completely. This allows you to reach max speed no matter where you are. I'll leave a link to this mod in the description. Dawood Goa actually has a video on MTA Racing about these air resistance zones, with some neat comparisons and details about all of the locations where they occur. I'd recommend checking it out. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. If you enjoy GTA videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.